All right, everyone, how you doing, men and women? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a wonderful time with wherever you're at. Sorry that you missed class today, but hopefully what I go over and what we discuss will make a little bit of sense. Today we're going to build on what we've done before. You've in the past done integers, whole numbers, rational numbers. Today we're going to introduce another kind of number, and then we'll talk about the equal sign a little bit. So let's get started with another kind of number. What on earth could I be talking about? Well, here's the kind of number I'm talking about. A number that looks like this or this. Sometimes it looks like this. Sometimes it might look like one of these items. You're thinking, wait a second, he said numbers. You're right. I'm just kind of playing with you, getting there. Today, we're going to be discussing variables. What are variables? Well, it's an unknown number, so it can vary. It can vary. It can be something different. And so we denote that number, or we call that number a letter, A or B or C, X, Y, Z. When you get up into college, you'll use Greek letters like delta. We've got the number. Hold on. Lights are turning out on me. Lights out. We got omega. Yeah, ignore this. I'm just playing around. Okay, variables. They're denoted by letters. And sometimes they can change. That's why they're varied. So let's say, how much homework did you have on Monday? Well, Monday was 5 hours maybe of homework. So you have a variable, and then sometimes you'll tie it down to a number. And let's move to that, the equal sign. Let's talk a little about this equal sign, okay? The equal sign means that whatever is on this side of the equal sign is exactly the same as whatever is on this side of the equal sign. For example, if I have 52 on this side of the equal sign, then I've got 49 plus, I would have to have 3 on that side of the equal sign. Or if I have 100 on this side of the equal sign, I could have 10 plus 10 plus 70 plus 1. Where am I at? Plus 9. On that side of the equal sign. Point being, whatever's on this side of the equal sign is on that side. It's kind of like a scale. The scale is the equal sign. If I have something sitting over here, let's say a really awesome student sitting over there, then for an equal sign, I've got to have that exact same student sitting over here on this side of the equal sign. I'm just trying to point out that an equal sign, the scale has to be perfectly weighted, the same on both sides. Like a teeter-totter that's or a seesaw, but that it's perfectly level because it's the same on both sides. You can't have an equal sign where 8 equals 7. That doesn't exist. That's not. You might see something like that. We're not dealing with that. If there is two sides and they're not equal, the equal sign does not apply. So when you see this equal sign, it means that whatever's over here is exactly the same as whatever's over there. Okay, so you ready for that? You ready for that? Okay, here we go then. Have you ever seen an equation before? If you had a good elementary teacher, then you have seen an equation where you've got one side of an equal sign and another side of an equal sign. Equation simply means it has the equal sign in it. Let's say I've got some variable that I don't know, and I add 5 to it, and I get 12. And the question is, what is that number? And you may want to quickly say a number. Let me show you the process, though, because sometimes you might have something like this. B minus 918 equals a negative 321. And so let me just teach you the process, because you might say, well, I already know the number. Well, I'm afraid to make it too simple, because if it's too simple, you'll think, oh, they're all simple. I don't need to learn the math concept. Please let me teach you the math concept. These are exactly the same. So I know that this is something plus 5 is 12, but I don't know what it is. Let's say I'm not sure, I can't do it in my head. Well, what you can do, if there's an equal sign, is you can just get rid of this plus 5. You can just subtract the plus 5 and get rid of it. It goes to 0, and all that's left on that side of the equal sign is A. If I get rid of the 5, I can subtract the 5 off because then it's going to go to 0. The equal sign, though, means I have to do it on both sides. Both sides of the equal sign. Well, when I've done that, over here, all that's left is A. A is all by itself because we don't write the 0. It's plus 5 minus 5. That just goes to 0. We just don't write it anymore. 12 minus 5, then you can work that out with the calculator if you need, and you get 7. So A equals 7. Now, the great thing about equations, and when you're doing equation work, you can check your work. A equals 7. So you can put that 7 back in there. 7 plus 5, you can substitute it back in. 7 plus 5 does in fact equal 12, so we did it right. A is 7, and that equation is done. I've solved for the variable. And that's the process that we're learning today with equations. When you have a variable and you don't know what the number is, you've got more numbers attached onto it, you can figure out, you can get to the end step where you can figure out what that variable is. But it takes a couple steps, and it takes doing a little bit of work. You are undoing what was done. On this previous problem, we undid that plus. We did the opposite of plus. We subtracted it off. So on here, let's see, minus 918. We want to undo that. We want to get the b alone, so we'll get rid of this minus 918. Well, the opposite of minus is plus, so we're going to plus the exact same number, 918. Then we add 918. Well, when you do that to this side of the equal sign, this all goes to 0, and all that's left is B, like I was ready for. Then you have to figure out what this is, and you start with the number that was there. That's the first number, and then you add 918. So if you take the negative 321, and then you add the 918, that gives you the number, 597. We've just worked out that 597 minus 918 is negative 321. So we'll circle the number. And if you want to check your work, start with the B, the 597. Subtract off the 918 and make sure that the number you end up with is the one that they had. So you can check your work on every single one of these. Every single time we do an equation, you can check your work by putting that number back in. Look, I didn't even need all these steps. I thought I just needed one step. It's so important to write down what you're doing. Write down every step. The more you write, the more you're going to get right, because the problems get a little complex. J minus 18 equals 32. Well, you add 18 to both sides. You may have thought, oh, it's something less than 32, but when you do the opposite, it shows you that it's actually bigger. So J is 50. What about if the variable is M, and you're minusing a negative 18 to get 3? Well, okay, no, wait, I've got a negative. Just do the opposite. Just what we're doing. You're doing the opposite. So instead of adding, or instead of subtracting, we're adding the number. So we're adding the negative 18, and we're adding the negative 18. Don't let all of the symbols and marks and operations mess you up. Just do the opposite with the same number, and then just type in 3 plus negative 18 to your calculator, and you'll have the answer. Negative 15. So M is all alone right here because these go to 0, and 3 plus negative 18 is negative 15. Today we're doing just adding and subtracting. What if I have 6 plus X? I don't know if you'll see any of these today, actually. Probably getting you a little bit of a head if you're watching on this. The X is there. This 6, it's a, what's that sign in front of the 6 that we never write? It's a positive. So we're going to subtract off the 6. This symbol goes with the X. So don't worry about that one. That's off to the side. That goes to 0, and then we subtract 6 over here. You always have this other side as the starting point. So it's 11 minus 6. And the calculator will give you 5. So that's the assignment, or that's the concept for today. If you click on, or if you look at the next item, if you look at the worksheet for today, you can see these problems that are worked out. Solve the equation by finding the number that each variable equals and write each step. So for example, right here, I've got k plus 62, so I subtract the 62 off of both sides. This part goes to 0, so on the one side I have k equals, and whatever negative 169 minus 62 is. And I'm at negative 231. If you want to check your work, you can put that negative 231 back in for the change. Let's find one. There's decimals, there's fractions. These ones down here is just if you're an honor student or if you want to try something really hard without me telling you much about it. What about, let's 18 right here. We've got r plus 11.3 is 2.6. So I'm going to subtract off that 11.3 from both sides. So on this side of the equation, all that's left is the r. And on this side of the equation, I've got whatever 2.6 minus 11.3 is. I type in correctly, I get negative 8.7. This is the work of today, adding and subtracting fractions, not fractions. That's coming. Adding and subtracting. I've got integers. We've got some decimals, and again, this is just for to kind of look at it as an honor student. Thanks for watching. Give them a shot. See what you can. The assignment is there in Canvas. This is just to get you to a place where you can do well on the Canvas assignment. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.